Aloha. Dad would always tell me his favorite speakers were the ones that were short and sweet. So I'd love to be his favorite speaker today. My dad was always the calm in the storm, and I always, even as a kid, I recognized that, and I wanted to figure out how he did it. I still don't know. Like, I do yoga and meditation and all sorts of, I hang out at the beach a lot, and my dad could always just, I mean, obviously we were always the chaos, but he was the calm. And although, he would stir the hive once in a while. He would get things going. He was really good at teasing and getting us all riled up. And I can remember sitting in the living room one time, and I hear my mom in the kitchen with my dad, "Oh, Roy," like in a very exasperated voice, and my dad comes running out of the kitchen, and he's snickering to himself. I'm like, "What did you do?" He goes, "Oh, sometimes you just got to stir the hive so you can make up later." So, all right, just do it when I'm not here, please. He definitely adored Mom and adored his family. We were always his priority. I never once heard him raise his voice. I don't know how I did that either. And just being around him, you just wanted to be a better person. He didn't lecture you. He didn't make you feel bad. He didn't guilt you. But he was just, he expected a lot of you, and you wanted so much to live up to that expectation. When he was in the military at Schofield Barracks, I can remember I'd love going to his dental office because he had the cool office. He had a pet bird that he kept out of a cage up on a perch. He always had the fridge full of snacks and treats. Like, everybody in the office that worked there would congregate to his office because he had food and fun things. And so I would go over there. I loved to hang out there after school. And I can remember one time I was probably about 9 years old, and I was just hanging out in his office, and there were a couple of other, I assume they were dentists, but my dad outranked them, I guess. They were in the hallway, and they were talking, and they were just using very colorful language. And my dad, he sat there for a second, and then he just got up, and he went out in the hallway, and he just asked them to come in. And they're all, "Yes, sir." And he said, "The military spent a lot of money educating you guys to be in the position you're in." "Yes, sir. If you have the privilege of an education, I want you to sound like it." And that was it. And they just, "Yes, sir." And nobody swore around him, and it just had such a different vibe in that office because there was such a level of respect. Because he actually practiced what he preached, and he really didn't even preach. He just lived what he believed. I know that's the reason I have a testimony because of my dad. So the last couple of years, especially the last couple of years, I've talked with my dad a lot about heaven. What do you think it'll be like? And we were sitting there eating ice cream, which was his favorite thing, mint chocolate chip ice cream. And he goes, "Well, I sure hope there's ice cream there." And I said, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is." But I asked him, I said, "Well, when you get there, I need you to do me a favor." And I go, "I need you to find the back door to get me in." And he says, "Oh, I've already thought of that." So I feel better knowing that my dad has gone ahead. He's up there. He's making arrangements. He's wheeling and dealing for me. My dad was always so patiently waiting. Trying to get all of us out the door, as Tom likes to comment, is like herding cats. And my dad would always be the first one ready to go, his hair done. And can we just take a moment and appreciate that man's hair? He had the most beautiful hair, but his hair was always perfect. But he would just be sitting in the blue chair in the corner by our big bay window. And he would just be sitting there quietly, waiting. And you could hear hair dryers going off and people pounding on the bathroom door to try and get in. And my dad would just be sitting there quietly, waiting. And so I just picture him now. He's just sitting there quietly, waiting for the rest of us. And I just want my dad to know how much I love him. And I love what a great example he's been to my kids. And I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ, amen. Just take a moment and appreciate that man's hair. He had the most beautiful hair, but his hair was always perfect. But he would just be sitting in the blue chair in the corner by our big bay window. And he would just be sitting there quietly, waiting. And you could hear hair dryers going off and people pounding on the bathroom door to try and get in. And my dad would just be sitting there quietly, waiting. And so I just picture him now. He's just sitting there quietly, waiting for the rest of us. And I just want my dad to know how much I love him. And I love what a great example he's been to my kids. And I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ, amen. I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.